Studio Microphone Chapter 2. The Death of Julius Caesar, a Republic Saved or Stolen. On the Ides of March, March 15th, 44 BCE, Rome was forever changed. In a single moment of calculated brutality, Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in the Roman world, fell beneath the blades of men he once called friends. His assassination is one of the most famous in human history, taught for generations as a defining moment for democracy, a desperate act by Roman senators to save the Republic from tyranny. But was Caesar's death truly a defense of liberty? Or was it a power grab cloaked in noble ideals, orchestrated by elites terrified of losing control? This is the story of how ambition, betrayal, and fear converged in the Roman Senate, and how the murder that was meant to save the Republic may have doomed it instead. Crossed swords, the rise of Julius Caesar. To understand his death, we must first understand Caesar's rise. Born into a patrician family in 100 BCE, Gaius Julius Caesar climbed the ranks of Roman politics with astonishing speed. A brilliant orator, a cunning general, and a man of the people, Caesar's military conquests, especially in Gaul, made him a living legend. But success came at a price. His populist policies and disregard for traditional senatorial authority earned him the fierce hatred of the Roman elite. To them, Caesar was a demagogue in a general's cloak, a man bent on destroying the Senate's power and ruling as a king. After a civil war against his former ally Pompey the Great, Caesar emerged as the undisputed ruler of Rome. He was declared dictator for life in 44 BC, a title never meant to be permanent. To his supporters, he was a stabilizing force. To his enemies, he was the next monarch in a republic born in rebellion against kings. Dagger, the conspiracy forms. A faction of senators, self-proclaimed liberators, plotted in secret. They called themselves defenders of the republic. Their leaders, Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius Longinus, both had fought against Caesar and been forgiven. Brutus, in particular, was like a son to Caesar. His inclusion gave the plot a moral veneer, as if the assassination wasn't personal, but a matter of patriotic duty. Their reasoning? Caesar had begun to wear purple robes, a color of kings. He had coins minted with his own image, a break from Roman tradition. And most damning of all, he reportedly refused a crown 3 times in a public ceremony, each refusal feeling more theatrical than sincere. To the conspirators, Caesar wasn't rejecting the crown. He was testing the waters. And they decided to act before it was too late. Coffined the assassination. On the morning of March 15th, 44 BCE, Caesar entered the Senate at the Theater of Pompey. Despite rumors of danger, he brushed off warnings, including a note he never read. As he sat among the senators, the conspirators closed in. The first blow struck his neck. Caesar, shocked and wounded, resisted until he saw Brutus among the attackers. According to legend, he uttered the immortal words, "Et tu, Brute? You too, Brutus?" He collapsed beneath 23 stab wounds. Blood pooled on the Senate floor. The conspirators raised their daggers, believing they had restored the Republic. But they had gravely miscalculated. Fire aftermath, chaos, civil war, and the death of a republic. The reaction was not what they expected. Far from rejoicing, the Roman people mourned Caesar. He had been their champion, their protector, and now he was gone, murdered by the very elites they had grown to distrust. At Caesar's funeral, Mark Antony gave a fiery eulogy, stirring the crowd to riot. They burned Caesar's body in the Forum and hunted down the assassins. Within months, Rome was plunged into another civil war, this time between Caesar's former allies and his murderers. Ultimately, the result was the rise of Caesar's grandnephew and heir, Octavian, later Augustus, who defeated the conspirators and declared the end of the Republic. In its place, he built the Roman Empire, with himself as its first emperor. Detective, a Republic Saved or Stolen. And so, we return to the central question: was Caesar's assassination an act of courage or of cowardice? His killers claimed to be defending liberty, but their actions led directly to the death of the Republic they swore to protect. By killing Caesar, they created a martyr, By failing to plan for what came next, they opened the door for empire. Some historians argue the Republic was already dead, paralyzed by corruption, gridlock, and inequality, and Caesar was simply its final symptom. Others insist that with Caesar alive, a new form of Roman governance, perhaps more democratic, perhaps more stable, might have emerged. Instead, history took a different path. Classical building, legacy, and lessons. The story of Caesar's death is a warning about the dangers of unchecked ambition, but also about the illusion of idealism in politics. Brutus and Cassius believed they were heroes. Caesar believed he was saving Rome from chaos. Octavian believed he was restoring order. But in the end, the power struggles of a few men determined the fate of millions. The Ides of March became more than a date. It became a symbol of betrayal, of hubris, of the fine line between republic and dictatorship, and perhaps a reminder that sometimes those who cry freedom loudest may already have the knife in their hands.